Hello there, my name is Rachel. The first time you see my channel, I used to review cartoon series, anime series, also could be random. Today we talk about the season 3 of Solar Opposites. And this season felt like a season finale to sort of wrap so many different things in this season. Of course, I think it was actually graded for another season. I'm not 100% sure, but if in case this was a good season finale if they chose to make it. But other than that, I have any complaints? Not really. Maybe one thing that I feel the first 3 episodes was sort of overwhelming of pop culture. I don't know, that maybe just me. I don't know what you think. You think the first 3 episodes was overwhelming or not? Tell me down below. Let me know. But all of that I felt was sort of interesting because what happens on the first episode, Corbo, the whole father figure of the whole family, he was sort of dying. He was sort of melting for reasons because his family would never get their act together. In other words, they had to finish the mission, but everybody being lazy, done listening to him. He just started melting. He sort of figured out how to not melt. Is that meaning that he had to be more relaxed? Let the family do their thing because each family member has his own way of doing things. He sort of chillax. But I love it. Most of the whole series is basically about Terry and Corbo sort of finding who they are, how to sort of fix the family, because you realize what they're doing is sort of questionable, but at the same time interesting, because in the series you find out what they're doing, trying to kind of recreate the planet to their own image. It's sort of illegal from outer space. It's also more interesting that what they're doing, they basically are the parasites of the universe that the cops trying to stop multiple times. And also, I found super interesting. They also find out how Terry and Gary. I'm sorry, my mind went blank for a second. That both of them were sort of never chose to be team member or married couple. Let's just sort of force them to it because that's how the society works. And I thought that's sort of interesting because everything you think of them sort of assholes is basically the best describe the whole race of sort of opposites. They're just sort of the self-centered aliens. They do whatever they want, but they keep getting arrested because the things they're doing that is sort of questionable. I thought that's sort of fascinating, especially what happened also to the wall, because a lot of people don't like the wall. You understand why, because people got frustrated, but I have to say the wall is pretty interesting, especially what happened to Todd, Cherry, and Hank. Yeah, I know I missed some of the names. I'm sorry. But what happened to him that's sort of interesting, like what happened to Tom, that he sort of went crazy because he didn't realize he was sort of drinking tainted water because he was drinking a sort of glass collectible of Star Wars. But he was certain the glass wasn't tainted or anything. Someone sort of poisoned it on purpose, but he didn't know who or why because how crazy he become. Especially his final thoughts. If you know what I'm talking about, that episode that he basically dreamed everything, how he get out the wall, save everybody, once more fall in love with Cherry, fix all his problems. The very end, I was sort of surprised because I was waiting for the second shoe to drop because it wasn't sort of smooth sailing now. You felt something was wrong in that episode. What Top was actually doing, succeeding, till you realize no, he was dying, and that's sort of shocking because I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of enjoy the wall. That's sort of respective of each character. Even they're a bad people, they also have that kind of idealistic what they're doing was the right thing to do in the moment. At least that what they thought on the moment, because the wall is starting to mess with a lot of people, especially what happened to Tom. He also Cherry, that she was sort of traumatized, that sort of kind of like that war trauma that she needs to keep fighting, always protecting her child, but realizing sometimes you don't need to fight anymore. You need to sort of be boring, relaxing, but she can't. Especially he dragged her best friend and right hand man Hank. Yeah, 100% sure that's his name. I'm sorry. If you wish, correct me down below, please do. But Hank was super a chill guy. He was a likable smart guy. I just kind of feel he sort of sacrificed himself the idiotic ideas of Cherry because she just couldn't chill. Yeah, I feel that's sort of wrong when it happened to Hank. But once more, Hank always was a hero. He didn't want to become a hero, but at the very end, he always was, he always will be. Even he was sort of denying that. Sort of, you felt it when he sort of sacrificed. You feel, of course, what happened to the wall was sort of interesting because Cherry, what she did, that's trying to figure out what's going on with the lights and came back, you could understand what happened to Tom. It was sort of the nuns who poisoned Tom. And also the nuns who kind of convinced him to sort of go in on the lower walls to figure out what's going on because they went busy a coup. They used her daughter as sort of the saint, the Jesus of the wall, who represents everybody, to brainwash everybody to be in this religion, to believe, so they have the full control. Even that, interesting enough, Cherry exposed everything. Before that, there is a hole. You choose to stay in or stay or get out. But of course, either way, you still gotta die. I found that sort of interesting because the whole wall, it was sort of like a social experiment. What character would do, will not do between this wall? What basically messes with you? In fact, you don't know what is the right way to live because you don't know what is the fastest way to live or the easiest life to live. It's a sort of questionable politics thing that I found so fascinating and endearing. Now, also you have another kind of small storyline about the space cops, especially the kid who basically got caught in the space cops. But I love it, the space cops were basically between 2 or 3 different ideas: the Green Lantern, Silver Surfer, and I think the show called the Silverhawks. It's like an 80s or 70s cartoon. You usually know what I mean if you see the image. Just put, I think it was called Silverhawks. I'm not 100% sure. But you've been in the 80s or watch Ola or cartoons, you know what I'm talking about. Because when you see this sort of cops, space cops, it just vibes me that sort of cowboy western kind of idea. It was very interesting, but at the same time, super self-aware how this is a ripoff of a Green Lantern, even that they admitted this is not a ripoff, but it really is. But once more, that was sort of fun to see that. Of course, there's one setback of that sort of small storyline that they chose a character that is sort of bland. They know he's sort of bland because that's the whole point of that character, to rebuild him, make him as a likable character first so we can dislike him and enjoy his development. It's interesting, but the only point, I feel the character is too bland for me, at least. Of course, even the writers put in his own words, yeah, I'm a bland guy, I just like cars, I have a fetish, that's all my personality. But I love that they attempted to see what this character could do, especially what happened in the space cops. I remember the character name, the car guy, the blank guy, or just call him the car guy, that he joined in the Space Force so he could figure out how to get home even faster. But the only problem is space is so big that nobody knows where is Earth. I feel that's sort of interesting, but at the same time that was lying because they use this guy to pin on him a murderer inside the space community, in other words, like space cops. But luckily he sort of ran away barely, trying to figure out what to do next. But once more, I felt it was interesting, but at the same time kind of boring. How you felt about that sort of side story? You think that was interesting or not? Tell me down below, let me know. Now everything else I felt was pretty good. I mean, the only complaint I have, it feels they're trying a little bit too hard of referencing our pop culture, at least the first 3 episodes. That's probably the only complaint I actually have. I mean, everything just sort of feels just right, interesting. Especially what happened to the 2 father figures of the whole family, their personality, their dislikes and likes, and how to fix the family. I feel sort of interesting. They're trying to quite literally develop the characters, sort of surprising me, especially what happened at the very end. They sort of settled to be boring because they saved the pupa and saved their family. they leave it like sort of a cliffhanger once more. It's more about how you felt about the end. To me, I was sort of satisfied what actually happened. Also, all the twists and surprises they dropped. I was sort of shocked and hilarious things what's going on with this season, because let's face it, I did not like this show very much very beginning. Now I became officially a fan because I did enjoy what's going on. I enjoyed all the work they did. Especially, I'm sort of surprised they apologized. A joke they did was sort of aged super old. I mean, it really did a little bit too fast, because they explained they did this written part back in 2019. Yeah, it really shows. But all that, I have a great time. If they don't have another season, I'll be okay with this. Now, I have one question. How do you feel about this season? This was great, bad, good? Tell me down below. Let me know. I honestly got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and you have a wonderful day. Bye.